Good morning. It's about lunchtime, so it's good afternoon. Welcome to my third video on mushroom vaping. This video I want to show the ethanol extraction process, or at least the assembly of the extraction device in this box. Of course, in this box I have two items that didn't come with this set, or two items, but two large pieces. Number one, it came with a heater, but I would like to use this heater. This heater has a heating and a stirring. The point behind this is stirring. Stirring is an important facet of this. In the stirring mode, put half a cup of glycerin, drop the stirring stick in there, turn it on, and it stirs. It didn't come with this scale either. The scale is important because the scale weighs out the amount to stir into the glycerin. And of course the extension cord that comes with it. I have an extension cord. This is a ladder table that didn't come with it either. But in the pictures it had it. Okay, what's in the box? And I put everything back in the box haphazardly, just to show you that it actually came in a box, this stuff. It came in a box with a heating table, or a heating pad, a bottle cleaner, and these components put together. So this particular bar setup came with its own accoutrement, or its own water. But you know, rubber hose. One moment, please. The cat decided she wanted to come in, then said she didn't want to come in. That's all right. So, underneath this fin is the equipment for the extraction. Right? Now I chose a 500 milliliter extraction. You can get the 1000 milliliter if you wanted to. And but I had gotten the 500. So what am I doing? The question is a good question. What I want to do is I want to set this up to use the ethanol extracting process. Without complicating matters too much. Generally speaking, this is just a setup to show you what it looks like set up. I had run it in the other place where I ran the last video. I had run it there. The last two videos, I had run it there. But I wanted to basically unpack the box for you essentially. We have this is a clamp, oven clamp there. This is the main vessel where you apply the heat in the mixing, or I apply the heat in the mixing. This is the collecting beaker. I collect at the end. This is the spill off part. But essentially what you do is when this fills up, you can tap it off the bottom of it, gravity, in case I have heavier elements in it. I want to keep that separate from the ethanol. I can tap it out. This is the condensing. This is the condensator. The equipment. Trying to be careful, we have a lot of glass here. Okay, so basically that's it. And there's a heating setup, an alcohol heater, as that came with it as well, but I don't like open flame, so I'm not using it. I mean, the heat table's fine for my purposes. I mean, heating ethanol sometimes. You don't want to heat ethanol with open flame, maybe not. You use ethanol for the flame. Kind of scary if you use it to heat up. Okay, so what's going on? I'm going to assemble this so that I can mix my weighed out mushroom powder into glycerin and utilize the heating pad in a mixer to draw out, or use the ethanol to break down the solids that are left over from mixing it in with glycerin directly. So essentially, I'm going to do this, down to the beaker on the bottom. This entails setting up this process. So basically you're going to watch me put this together. I have this on here. Hold this beaker. I have this in here. Put this in here. Hold this at an appropriate height. I use this stand to hold my thermometer. The thermometer is, well, see, the thing is I'm heating the ethanol so it evaporates. So I gotta get the temperature close. I don't want to overheat it. I don't want to underheat it. I want to boil it off. It takes 11 hours. 11 hours to boil off the ethanol. That's a long time. So this has to be set together for 11 hours. My cat's calling me. All right. Next one would be this. I want to put it on here. What are you doing? All right, so this is very precarious, isn't it? No matter, I have the key to making sure I don't break anything in the process. And that's pretty much the point. Let's not break anything when we do this stuff. That's what we're trying to do, is not break anything. Because after all is said and done, you need to get this in the center. Bear with me. Trying to make it line up. Alright. Okay. And I use this one for the bottom of this. Alright. Measure, dump. There's a pill, it's a magnetic pill that you drop in there, and when you turn the stirring on, it spins it in a circle. And the rate, because the glycerin is thick, as I mentioned before, glycerin is 10 pounds to the gallon, where water is 8 pounds to the gallon. So what you're looking at, it is being able to stir it at a rate so you don't overdo it. It's thick, and I'm making it thicker with mushroom goo powder. And pretty much this is the setup. Now I have, you saw me with, I have rubber tubing. So I'm doing it by generally I'm doing it by fresh air. The tubing is for running water through the evaporator coil on the outside. So basically, you boil off the ethanol, it goes up through here, and it drops down here, condenses, and goes into there. That's the process. I'm boiling it through, or boiling the mushroom powder with the ethanol, and what's left over I pour out, and then I add the more glycerin to it till I get the amount I need. This is only 500 milliliters. I had gotten 900 milliliters, so you notice right away that that's impossible with the 500 milliliter setup, except for I'm just utilizing 100 milligrams of glycerin with milliliters of glycerin and 100 milliliters of ethanol in order to extract it out. And then what goes down in here, after it boils down into here, the first time I did it, I had a 1/4 inch of dark fluid. So I tapped that off and I put it aside. But the second time I did it, it didn't happen. So it just went right through. It took 11 hours. And then filtering it out was excellent too. And there you go, that's essentially the setup. I have the cord ready to plug in. This is pretty stable. I have a lot of glass. You want to keep the temperature at a certain 10 degrees. This is you're adding the materials. But I could set up a water cooling setup. It's not impossible. So how do you like my studio? This is going to be my studio. The area I was using before, that's my sound panel. It's to help reduce the echo. This is a shed that we had finished to look like a house. And it makes a nice, it's a 10 by 20, makes a nice studio setup. There I have the TV to run YouTube shows so I can critique on them on video while I smoke my mushroom stuff, vaping my mushroom. So what's going on here? That's an authentic 1960s secretary's desk, mahogany. There's a microwave there. That's a coffee maker under there. It's a TV hooked up to our satellite dish. We have Starlink. Plug there, plug behind a TV. There's an air conditioner. It's like a swamp cooler, a refrigerator, bedding, a step ladder, an extra bed. The couch pulls out as a bed. Why do I need beds in this? I don't know, because they're stupid. That's a toy. That box behind the couch. It's one of those, and it's our hockey team. That's a croquet set. Our hockey team is called what? And here there's a circle light, so I can get more light when I need it for the YouTube bit. It's a beanbag game where you have bean bags and you throw it to a hole, but it's set up as I guess Sentinels. I guess it's the hockey team. They have black and gold face on it. We have high winds today. So there you have it. You know, there's 15 minutes of setup to put that together, maybe less. I'm going to put my camera up here for now. So the reason why I wanted to do this was to show you my setup for the ethanol extraction process. And at the same time, I wanted to clarify what I want to do with this vaping. Because vaping has become socially unacceptable, but I say vaping mushrooms should be socially acceptable because it's medicinal. The purpose is of vaping to provide a health benefit. Supplement your diet with mushrooms. Supplement your smoking with mushrooms. I read the reports. I can put the reports up here on the computer, or on the television with its internet bit, and read more if I wanted to, etc. I mean, there's much going on with this potential. I would like to show you the two devices that I use constantly. The device I showed you earlier was the one I want to use for producing a product, and these are my. This is going to be called my cigar, so to speak, in the form of. What I want to do is I want to set up a smoking lounge, a spa, if you will. Have a pulmonologist do the incoming examination, and then follow up periodical examinations to see how well a person's pulmonology system is working out with utilizing the vaping of mushrooms. And I want to use this, as they call it agar or cigar, agar, right? Agar. The cigar form of it, because this gives me a nice blast. And the beautiful part about this particular device is I can go online and update it by plugging it in. I can update the chipset. Hopefully, if I get this thing up and running, I can contact the company that puts this out and say, look, I want a certain thing on this for the guys that like to smoke cigars. Why not smoke a cigar of mushroom? Right? So have a spa, have a compounding pharmacist that puts together the mushroom and your medication. Let's say you have a microdose medication set up. The compounding pharmacist is qualified to do so. Let's say you come into the spa, you're part of the membership. You get to experience what the spa has to offer. The spa has a game room, a games master. I would like to try to bring in a grandmaster of chess to be my games master. Why not? Because as everybody knows, a grandmaster in chess is a excellent poker player. It's a memory thing. I want to be able to have stress tests for the pulmonologist to have, okay, I need 30 minutes of you doing this activity. Let's say the activity happens to be pool. Just to raise the heart rate a little bit. Now, granted, it's not going to be something of high level. It's going to be a low-key spa, 1920s, 1860s health spa, where you have rooms, you have areas of interest, you have gaming tables, you have snooker, you have a video game area, and a quick draft of cubicles for doing a person one-on-one type show for the internet. A building not quite dissimilar to the house I have, I live in, and maybe a small thing like this. But I want to be able to have a staff, an appropriate staff, an addiction especially, a psychologist on the floor with a staff of a few people, just encouraging people. You know, what have you. It's all about communication. Have a section of the building, a indoor garden for a large floor layout for your parties, your social events, things like that. Have a section on property to grow mushrooms. Perhaps a unit like this decked out to be a mushroom growing facility. Because it turns out that more and more I research into this, getting my mushroom in powder form is fine and dandy, but the genetic markers for the mushrooms seems to be the direction we want to go, especially if we want to say we're going to hit this mark in 6 months when you smoke this. But for now, just smoke it as a supplement. What I want to do is I want to find out with the research at a spa to find out if this actually changes a person's physiology. And I think that is an important thing when it comes to trying to get people to stop smoking cigarettes and start smoking mushrooms. So thank you for your time and interest. Have a beautiful day.